Supreme Court will now decide whether the 11 men who gang raped Bilkis Bano when she was 5 months pregnant and killed her 3-year-old daughter will go back to jail or not. I'm Barkha Dutt, you're with the Mojo Story. Our relentless focus on the Bilkis Bano travesty of justice continues. You know that on this platform, you've been seeing pretty much nothing else for the past 10 days. Voices of outrage are now mounting across the country and indeed, finally, across politics as well. Khushbu Sundar, who's an actor and a leader of the BJP, has become the first significant woman leader of the BJP to actually break her silence on Bilkis. And we'll be speaking to her in a moment from now. But first, let's take you through the key developments. The judge who actually convicted and first sent these 11 men to jail, Justice Salvi, told us that this decision has set a very, very bad precedent. He called it a legal gimmick. The judge who awarded Bilkis Bano 50 lakhs in compensation at the Supreme Court, Justice Gupta, is calling the decision immoral, unfair, and unjust. Meanwhile, the BJP MLA on the panel that recommended the release of these men has embarrassed his party. He described these convicts to be Brahmins, men of good sanskar. Asha Devi, Nirbhaya's mother, told the Mojo Story that actually these men were worthy of the death sentence and said, "Itne sanskari hai, to rape kyun kiya?" The voices of outrage are continuing to mount, and Mojo Story is running a people-led movement to urge the Supreme Court to send these convicts back to jail. Join our campaign as more and more voices are now breaking the silence. Let's introduce our guest on our broadcast today, Khushbu Sundar. She's one of our best known and most talented and accomplished actors, but she's also a leader of the BJP. And she took to Twitter, to social media, to call what had happened to Bilkis a crime against humankind. She's urging people to step above politics. So Khushbu, I first must say, well done. You're actually the first woman leader of your party and maybe one of only two leaders who's taken a public position yet. The other, of course, is Devendra Fadnavis, who said that the way these men were greeted with garlands and flowers was very, very wrong. Khushbu, what made you decide to speak up and speak out?
I had to speak up, Barkha, because I have been watching this, and I need to understand that I have two young girls, a mother of a 22 and a 19-year-old. And tomorrow, if my girls are going to turn around and ask me, "Amma, what did you do when injustice was meted out to a woman who's been through such horrific times?" I don't have an answer to that. And if I'm not able to answer my own girls, I don't think as a politician, as a woman, I will have the rights to speak about on any issues of our countries. And I am someone who is very, very vocal, and I am someone who needs to speak the fact and the truth. And I have to do this for my daughters. I have to do this for the other young girls of a country who would probably looking up at me and many other women in across the political arena and thinking that what were these women thinking when they were keeping mum when injustice was meted out. So I had to speak.
Well said and well done. Did your daughters actually ask you? I mean, you presented it as a metaphorical thing that tomorrow, if they ask me, did your daughters, because, women are talking about this across the country, did they ask you, Khushbu or mom, speak up? Why are you silent?
No, they didn't. But knowing my girls, once I spoke up, both my girls came up to me, they gave me a hug and they said, "Well done, mom." So I knew probably it was lingering with them. They were waiting for a moment where their mom would come up, and it's like, "Amma, kabhi to bolengi." And their hug said it all. That one word, "Thank you, Amma," that said it all, because I know how strongly my daughters feel about women issues. They're as strong and as they take up women issues very, very strongly. They have their own ideas, they have their own thinking minds. So I think for today's girls, it is extremely important that I set the right example for them.
And I'm so glad you've done this. And I want to ask you that when you saw the images of these men, and it bears repeating that these were men who gang raped a 5 month pregnant woman. They gang raped her mother. They gang raped two of sisters, two sisters of Bilkis Bano, and then they killed her 3-year-old daughter. When you saw these images, and I'm just going to play them, when they came out of prison, they were greeted with sweets, with tilak, with laddus, and Mr. Fadnavis was also among those who said that these images were very, very wrong. When you saw these images, what did you feel as a woman, as a mother, as you know, somebody who's always spoken up?
Horrific. I was absolutely stunned. I was horrified because you do not glorify or you do not celebrate people who have been convicted. And I say this because it was a Supreme Court. They were very, very abled and learned justice who actually gave out this judgment, and they're the one who have worked on it. They're the people who actually knew that these 11 men had done wrong, and what they did was not wrong alone, it was horrifying. So I think, when I saw these images, it really, really hit me hard. And as a woman, it pained me, it angered me. And I was not able to sleep. I had, for after a very, very long time, I had sleepless nights. I was very disturbed.
Yeah, there is something about these images that I think has chilled every woman across the country to the bone. But if we come out of these images, I now want to actually ask you a, a, a personal question. And I don't know how many people know, but when you were speaking at We the Women, I think a little over a year ago, and we were speaking about your journey as a woman in public life, you opened up about being, and I don't know how many people know this, so I want to remind them, you opened up about being a survivor of abuse yourself. And you opened up about being a survivor of abuse at the hands of your own father. I still remember what you said. You said, I suffered abuse in every way at his hands. I don't think of him as my father. And when I asked you the nature of the abuse, as painful as it was, you bravely shared your account with the world, and you said that you were a survivor of physical and sexual abuse by your own father. And I just want you to speak a little bit about how that has shaped and formed you as a survivor of sexual abuse. When you look at what's happening with the Bilkis, I'm sure somewhere you're joining the dots.
I'm not joining the dots, but yes, I mean it stays with you. When I tweeted and I say that it scarred the soul of Bilkis Bano for lifelong, because I personally too feel the pain, and yes, it has scarred me forever. I think I heard my father passed away last year, but I haven't seen him in 36 long years. I haven't never spoken to him. And I always said that I'll be the first person to celebrate the day my father kicks the bucket. And it was that kind of an hatred towards a man who could do this to his own daughter. And here there was a woman who was 5 months pregnant, and I don't know if that is called connecting the dots, but I could feel the pain. I could feel what Bilkis Bano would have been through. And I'm not the first woman on this planet to be sexually abused by someone close relative. And here I was abused by my own father, but I'm not the first woman. So it's not about you know personal vindictive thoughts, or like, okay, there has to be justice meted out because I couldn't get justice. No, nothing of that kind. But all I could do is connect with the pain. Yes, I could feel what Bilkis would have been through. I can feel what other women, why I so strongly feel about the safety of women, why I so strongly feel about anybody who is sexually abused is probably, yes, I have been through it. I know what pain, how it pains, and what kind of a scar it leaves on your mind, on your soul, on in your in your thoughts. So every time there's a sexual abuse somewhere, it hits you hard. It hits you that this is not supposed to happen, and it is happening. And with Bilkis, yes, it did hit me very, very hard.
Yeah. And I have to again say thank you to you, because I know that for abuse survivors to actually go public, it is a harrowing experience. It's a triggering experience, and it's not easy. So once again, thank you for the courage that it takes to speak about your own experience as not surviving abuse and then surviving abuse by the man you should have been able to trust most, your own father. Bilkis Bano didn't face abuse at the hands of her family member Khushbu, but the men who were convicted were her neighbors. She thought they were her friends. They used to buy milk from her family, so she too, in a way, trusted them. Now I have to ask you this: you are upset, or maybe the word I should use is disappointed, that such few people in your own party have spoken up. What would you want your own party to be doing at this moment? And did you ever worry about the political consequences of what you're doing? Because effectively, you are taking a public position that your party has not taken yet. And in fact, it was an executive decision of the Gujarat government that has led to this situation.
No, I think I'm someone, when I have to speak, I speak. I speak across the political spectrum. I speak across the so-called being politically correct platform. If I feel something very strongly about, I do voice my opinion, and it's not for the first time. I think when I was in Congress, there was NEP policy, and I very openly supported our Prime Minister with the national education policy. When there was abolishment of triple talaq, I very openly applauded and thanked the Prime Minister for actually bringing in the law. And I have been cutting across the political lines, and I have been speaking because I think if I'm going to keep quiet just because I belong to a political party, then I'm doing injustice to what I am in politics for. I'm not here to make money or to make name for myself. I've done enough and I've seen enough. I think I'm here to actually speak on the issues which bothers our country. And I very strongly feel about women empowerment and the safety of our children. And if it again goes back saying that, is it because I myself am a victim of sexual abuse? Probably yes. If it's about me being a mother of two young girls who are out in this society, in this world, and the thought that what are we giving them, what kind of safety and assurance we are giving them, that my country, our nation that we call India, we are all proud of, what is that we are giving back to them if we are going to install any kind of fear among these young girls who are going to take the country, the nation by storm and bring a lot of pride to this nation. I think we are not doing right. We are not doing something right. So I think it's not about my political party alone. My anger is also against all the women who, at the drop of a hat, have been screaming and shouting and saying that justice is not meted out. I am saying, when you could do it earlier, why are you not doing it now? Why there's no outrage now? The same women I see, they're keeping quiet. It's unfortunately, Barkha, what disappoints me the most is they all want to take a political stand. It's BJP versus Congress. It's BJP versus some other opposition party. No, this is not the time to speak about politics. This is not about comparing BJP versus Congress, AAP or TMC.
And I would agree with you in keeping the focus on the rights of Bilkis Bano, the woman. But there's a one complication here, and that complication is that this decision has not been taken by the court. It has been taken. It is a political, or rather an executive decision, not a political decision, but an executive
Yes.
decision. The Gujarat government took this decision. There is a BJP MLA who you would have seen his viral interview to Mojo Story, who's calling these men Brahmins of good sanskar. It's caused a huge amount of outrage. When you heard that statement, what did you feel? I mean, weren't you revolted?
Yes, I was jolted. I would be denying, I would be lying if I say that I wasn't jolted. I was. You do not support people who have been convicted. But again, I mean, see, I don't want to sound political. I don't want to bring in politics. But the same people who have been saying that, oh, we are not surprised with this, are the same people who have been fine with Perarivalan, who's been, released on same remission by the Tamil Nadu government, though he was accused of being part of the conspiracy that killed the prime minister of this country. So, it's like they want to be politically correct. They want to be, part of something which is the wave and be in the good books and gain some brownie points. And I'm not here to gain any brownie points. I'm not going to gain anything. Probably I might be the loser. I might lose something, but or probably somebody from my party might say that why did you speak up? But here, this is something that we, again, as women of one nation, we need to collectively come together. I don't know why others are not speaking. I'm not talking across political arena alone. I am saying even our own celebrities, women who have been screaming loud and clear. I want them to come out. I want the people to come out and speak. We saw a kind of unity, a kind of solidarity when Nirbhaya happened. It is very unfortunate. But why I don't see that outrage now? It's me, you, couple of handful of women who have been screaming and
Yeah.
shouting. But again, it is all political. I don't want politics to be involved here. I don't want any kind of politics. I want women who I think can make a difference in this country. I want thinking women who can make a difference to the next generation. I want women, strong women, who can set a kind of precedent for the young generation to come and say that we as women can stand together across political lines because it's about a woman of our nation. And we want women of this nation to be happy, to be proud of what the country is giving them, and show the world over, people world over, and say that women of India are strong and bold enough to come together, cutting across the political lines.
You are right in urging celebrities to speak. You're right in saying, where is that outrage that followed the Nirbhaya moment? Absolutely, and I'm with you on that. But would you urge your own party to take a clear position on this? If the
Yes,
Gujarat government has done it, then it can be reversed. One phone call from Delhi to the Chief Minister of Gujarat is all that it would take for this decision to be
no,
reversed. It doesn't even need to go
I'm
to
not.
Supreme Court.
No, I don't want the prime minister to intervene. It's something which the Supreme Court has taken it up. They said they're going to review it. I think let the Supreme Court takes its course. It's independent body. Let the Supreme Court takes its course. I don't want my prime minister. Me speaking up does not mean that I don't trust my party or I don't trust my prime minister. I still have complete faith, 100% faith in my prime minister. I
Fair
have complete
enough. Fair
I have
enough. But would
complete
you
I
want
have
your
complete
party? But you have
I
said
want
you
women to
wished.
speak up. I want women from my party to speak up. I would love to see women from my party to speak up. I would love to see men from my party to speak up. I'm glad that Devendra Fadnavis ji has spoken about it. I'm glad that he said that the way these men were welcomed was absolutely not right. He was horrified himself, and I'm glad that he spoke up. I want people from my party to speak up, but I want people from across different parties to speak up too. I don't want this to make it political. Bilkis Bano is not about Congress or BJP or any other political party. Bilkis Bano is a daughter of this nation. Bilkis Bano is the daughter-in-law of our family. She lost her 3-year-old daughter. We have to think that it was our daughter that we lost. It was we have to feel that it was our daughter who went through so much of trauma. She saw her own family members being killed, her own 3-year-old child being killed in front of her own eyes. I want everyone to feel that pain. Whether you know her, I don't know Bilkis Bano from Adams. I have never seen her, never met her, but I feel the pain. Why is that the others don't feel this pain is what I don't understand. Why is that we always have to be political? Why is that we always have to be politically correct? Why is that we always have to make it this party versus that party? No, why can't we just, for once, come together and say it's a daughter of my country and she needs our support, and we as the citizens of this country, we need to stand in solidarity with the daughter of this country.
Well, I can only say to you that I am so glad that you have spoken up. I am so glad that you have also gone public because it's important with your own experience and battle against abuse. And you have called for women, and women must transcend party politics. The issue of women is a deeply political one, but there have to be times when you have to transcend party politics. In this case, it means you're actually speaking in disagreement with a decision taken by an administration that is under the BJP, and therefore more power to you. And you're right, we need to see the kind of outrage we saw during Nirbhaya. And And Khushbu, I hope that what you have said is a cue to other women and men in your party to speak. But I also hope, and there I disagree with you, that I just hope the Gujarat government just takes this decision back. We don't need to spend another few months for Bilkis to be living this trauma. I just hope these men go back to jail. Khushbu Sundar, thank you. Take care, and thank you for speaking up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's great to see you here. Thank you for watching our work. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to click the bell icon and subscribe to Mojo Story and support independent, robust journalism.